Hello, friends. This is Sharon from Natural Awakenings magazine. And recently I had watched a video on Feng Shui. And based on what I learned, I rearranged my office to position my furniture in a way that would create a better energetic flow. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, joining me today is Anne-Marie Matthews, founder of Sacred Shui, and she's launching her business this week. It's a very exciting time. And Anne-Marie, please tell us more and how we can get energy to work with us and what you exactly do to facilitate that.
Sure. Well, thank you. First of all, Sharon, thank you so much for having me. I've been a big fan and reader of Natural Awakenings for a while now. So I'm excited to be working with you.
And great to have you. Thank you.
Yay! And I'm excited to hear your story. I love working with folks who are new to Feng Shui or just discovering it because it really can be life-changing. You've experienced that. I know you shared a story with me where you moved some furniture around in your office and you felt that energetic shift and what a change for you. Feng Shui, literally translated, means wind and water. It's a system that was developed thousands of years ago in the Far East. And these tools have been around for quite a long time. And really, they were developed for folks to be able to set up their space to help them achieve their goals, help them achieve their dreams, help them make the most of their life. We all have goals, we all have dreams, we all have our fondest wishes. And Feng Shui can help you to achieve those goals. And so, we're going to talk about space. Feng Shui, when I talk about it, and for conversation's sake, I'm talking about our home, but you can use this in an office, in a place of work, in just one room. But again, these are tools that are thousands of years old. And so the Feng Shui that I practice, which is called interior alignment, is really taking these tools and bringing them to everybody in a fun, modern way, because we don't necessarily live the same life that they did 3,000 years ago in the Far East. But we can still take those tools and adapt it for modern use. I really feel like I try to put the fun in Feng Shui because it should be fun and it should be easy and it should be accessible to a lot of people. When I work with clients, one of the very first things I ask is, what do you want? What do you want out of life? And then we build our Feng Shui to help you create what you want, to create a space to help you get to what you want. Marie Kondo, we all know and love Marie Kondo. She has a very famous quote that says, your home should be for the person you're becoming, not for the person that you were. I also think Feng Shui is really a way to make your home like a 3D vision board. I'm sure you have, because I know I have, made tons of vision boards.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And we all cut out our pictures and we glue them. Think about your home like a 3D vision board. It should be for the person that you are becoming. And so, these tools that we have allow us to become that person.
I love that. I love that so much. And the new issue is coming out this week. And yes, in the letter from the editor, that's one of the things that I reference. It's like, who do you want to be? Now's your chance. You've never been home alone to just be with yourself or your immediate family. Who is it that you want to be? And that's where you come in, because once you figure out, all right, this is who I want to be. Now, how do I build my space?
Yeah. Absolutely. How do I build that space for that person that I want to be? And I feel like I need to say this because I feel like it's important to say that this doesn't necessarily need to be expensive or elaborate.
My example, I moved around what I had.
Yeah.
And I saw a difference.
1,000%. You shifted a desk in your office.
Yeah.
Right? And it made a huge difference in the energy. I love a good trip to Home Goods as much as the next person, for sure. But a lot of times we can work with what you already have. And I want to share with everybody at home, this is one of the tools that we use in Feng Shui. This is called the Bagua map. And so you can see that there's 9 sections here on the Bagua map. So what we do, this is, again, one of the most important tools that we use when we're working with space, is we align this bottom row with your front door. And I mean the literal front door of your home. Some people use the garage or go in the back door, but your actual front door of the home gets aligned with this bottom row. So your front door should land in one of these 3 spaces. And you can see there are 9 separate areas of your life that correspond with different places in your home. So I will say this, up here in the top corner is our abundance and prosperity. Over here in the other top corner is relationships. And those tend to be the 2 most popular areas. When clients reach out to a Feng Shui consultant, those tend to be the 2 most popular areas that folks ask about, because who doesn't like to have more abundance in their life or more love in their life? Those are very important things for a lot of us. So we rely on this map quite a bit to help us. So when I say to you, you know, what are your goals? What are your dreams? And then we start to literally map that out. So are your goals to have better health? Is it to have better relationships with your family members or your ancestors? Is it self-knowledge and wisdom? And then we start to look at those areas. It can be a little bit overwhelming. I can see somebody at home for the first time going, oh my gosh, where do I even start with that? I always say start at your front door. The front door of your home is what we call the mouth of chi. It's where energy enters into your home. So you always want to make sure that your front door has the most advantageous chi. So I invite everybody, especially if you're home and you've been home for a little bit and you've got some time on your hands, go stand outside your front door. It'll also make your neighbors wonder what you're up to. But go stand outside your front door and really take a look with fresh eyes and say, what does my front door entrance say about me? Could you give it a little, spring cleaning, maybe sweep a little bit, maybe paint the front door? I do this every spring. I always give my front door a fresh coat of paint, and I paint the numbers because you want the universe to be able to find you easily. Again, sweeping, you're energetically and literally sweeping away that which you do not need. Is your front door squeaky? Maybe you have some squeaky wheels in your life. So maybe a little WD-40 will help ease those squeaks. Can your door open all the way? This is always a fun one for me because I realized after living in my home recently for 12 years that my dining room table was preventing my front door from opening all the way. So it's just a matter of shifting my front door. You want the door to be open so that every possible opportunity can come to you. And I know that I am guilty of this. I walk in the front door and off come the shoes and off comes the jacket and the purse and the car keys and everything else. We want to make sure there's no clutter by our front door. And this takes a little bit of practice. It took a little bit of practice for me to take off my shoes and then put them in the closet. Again, because you don't want anything to interrupt the flow of energy that's coming in the front door. Another tip that I use, I am launching my business. So I turn on the front porch light for a few hours a day to attract some energy, to just say, hey, universe, here I am. You want to make it as easy as possible for the universe to find you and bring you all of these opportunities. So if somebody said to me, oh my gosh, I don't know where to start, that's where I would start. I would start at your front door, 100%.
That's so funny because you and I had a similar conversation on Friday, and
Yes.
I have been turning on my porch light. I'm like, "Ooh, Anne Marie said turn that light on."
Have you? That's awesome. I will say this, it's all about intention, right? I know the readers of Natural Awakenings probably know a lot about intention. So a lot of it is intention. You might have somebody watching and going, what good is it going to do to turn on my porch light? It's the intention that you're putting out. Again, saying to the world, here I am, come find me, saying to all those opportunities, I'm wide open and available, right? My door opens all the way. I am wide open. Nothing is going to block my opportunities. And these are just a couple of examples. I love this so much. I could keep you on here for hours and hours and hours on end. But though that's a really nice place to start for folks if they're brand new, or even if you're not brand new to Feng Shui, but maybe you need a little pick me up in your energy. Starting at the front door is a great place to begin.
Yeah, and with so many of us trapped at home right now, it's a great time to evaluate the space. Think about exactly what you said. Use the diagram, work with you, use the diagram. What is it that you're trying to create in your life? And how can you make your space around you work with you in that energy to create that outcome? So
Absolutely. And
how,
I know you know this, and I know the viewers have experienced this. When you've walked into a space and it doesn't feel good, right?
yeah,
Maybe you don't know exactly why, but you just know it doesn't feel good. And we've all had that experience. On the other hand, where you walk into a space and you're like, oh, this feels awesome. I would like to stay here forever. And it's uniquely personal. You and I might walk into the same space and have a completely different reaction. But really what we're going for is in Feng Shui is for folks to walk into their home and go, oh yeah, this is the space that was meant for me. And, I practice interior alignment Feng Shui. And in interior alignment Feng Shui, we have two rules. If it feels good, it's good Feng Shui. If it feels bad, it's bad Feng Shui. There are many, many different types of Feng Shui, just as there are many different types of yoga. And some other types of Feng Shui do have a lot more different rules. And that's okay. Not what I practice. What I practice is very simple and very easy. If it feels good, it is good. If it doesn't feel good, it's not good, and we can help you to make it feel good.
nice.
Yeah.
So in this virtual environment, how are you working with your clients?
Sure. So, obviously, a few months ago, it was much easier to work in person. But now I'm absolutely happy to do FaceTime, Skype, Zoom. I offer anybody a free 20-minute phone call. If you're not sure and you just want to chat, I'm happy to chat with you. Folks can shoot me an email or give me a call, and I'm happy to set up a time, and we'll spend 20 minutes just chit-chatting. I found a lot of times that people will sort of dip their toe in, but need a little time to warm up to it, and that's okay. I'm here. I'm happy to answer any questions that people might have. And as you know, I do love talking about it, so always happy to talk about it with anybody who wants to.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So next week, perhaps you can think about it. Maybe we can pick another spot and you can dangle some information out there on how to look at your back door, how to look at your front yard, like that kind of stuff, if you'd be interested.
I would love to do that. Here's what I'm going to say. I would love that so much. And I think next week we could talk about abundance and prosperity, because it's a hot topic for everybody. And there's no one in the world who's going to say, no, I don't want more abundance and prosperity.
Right.
But I'm going to share one quick anecdote with you about that, just sort of as a teaser. I was recently at the car dealership and started talking with the car salesman. And so we got on the topic of the Feng Shui and starting the business. And so we ended up sitting down at a table, and he drew me a map of his home. And I sort of said to him, his name was James. And I said, James, what are your goals? What would you like to see happen in your life? And he said, He said, you know, Anne Marie, I'd really like to have more money. There doesn't seem to be enough money coming in. And so I said, okay, we identified the space, and I said, what are you using that space for right now? And he said, well, it's a bedroom, but we're using it for storage. Okay, what kind of storage? And he said, well, right now there's a deep freezer in there. And I said, oh, okay, so you're telling me that your finances aren't moving, but you've got a deep freezer in the space that correlates to your abundance and prosperity. So essentially, energetically, your finances are in a deep freeze.
Wow.
You know, and so you can look at it and make the correlation. So we talked about some different enhancements that he could do. You know, not always easy to just up and move a deep freezer, but we can make some, you know, some enhancements to sort of counteract that freezing effect in our prosperity and abundance space. So just a little teaser, but we can talk more about that next week.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And that is such a great story. And was he like mind blown when you were like, oh, deep freezer in your abundance square?
I think it's always one of those things where somebody points out the real obvious to you, and that happens to me all the time. You know, for me, it's a little bit of physician heal thyself, because I have those moments too where people point stuff out to me. It's easy to step back and look at somebody else's space, but yeah, I love seeing those moments where we can connect those dots and say, oh, okay, I get it. I get the correlation between the energetic piece and the actual physical piece.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
fun. And when I first was introduced to Feng Shui, my friend was like, you don't want poison arrows coming at your door. So I have a very straight walkway, but I've cut my plants to make a curve. So even you don't have to deal with just whatever the structure is. There's ways of bringing in elements to help.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait to learn more.
Me too. I'm very excited. Thank you for having me. I wish you and everyone who's watching just the best health, you know, and prosperity and wisdom right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same to you. And if someone would like to get in touch with you and schedule that 20-minute conversation, what's the best way to do that?
So folks can either email me, and my email address is Anne-Marie, ANNMARIE, @sacredshui.com. Or you can give me a holler, 732-604-3261. You could call me, shoot me a text, shoot me an email.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on the launch of your business.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today. I can't wait to make this a regular conversation and continue to learn and get to know you better. It's really super fun and also really beneficial. And with everyone trapped at home, this is a great time to do it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.